Zoom, and Zoom would automatically record. But okay, looks like we're good for recording. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce Mindy Robbins. You can see her on the screen there, and she's going to get us started on our meeting. Welcome, and we're so glad to see you. Go, Mindy.
Okay, thanks, Katie. Welcome, everybody. I can't see very many pages of parents or pictures, but I definitely see some new names that I don't recognize. So welcome to the new families that are interested in joining this awesome COPA family. And welcome back to the returning parents. We're glad to have you. I see a bird, Brittany Bird. I'm a bird, so we'll have to chat about that. Probably related somehow. But anyway, glad you guys are here. Excited to tell you more about COPA and what we do. I'm going to introduce our mission. I don't know how to make that quiet, Katie.
I don't either, because it is the Google meeting. It's
Yeah.
in the meeting. So
maybe if I put it on Do Not Disturb, it won't keep dinging for
I
everybody.
already put mine on Do Not Disturb, so I don't think that's it.
Okay. Well, then we might just hear some dinging, which is just a welcome to the new parents.
More people joining us.
Okay, so the mission of COPA is to develop talent, confidence, and performance skills while experiencing purposeful performances in a spirit of camaraderie. Our philosophy for the musical theater or program, so music dance theater or our musical theater tracks, we're going to talk about all these different focuses today, is that we offer a triple threat curriculum. And students will train in various dance forms, vocal acting techniques, preparing for success in the industry. And our students often are playing lead roles for their schools or community, regional musicals, and several students have received collegiate scholarships, including Katie's daughter, who has now accepted her full ride to Rider University. She's a senior this year and will be studying music dance theater. And we have officially our first COPA student on Broadway in The Outsiders. So if you guys have gone to New York or if you're going to New York, go check out Outsiders. It's a beautiful show. She's understudying the role of Cherry, and she went on last night again for the role, which is just so exciting to see our kids, training and succeeding. I was just going to tell a very quick story of a conversation that happened with my family just this yesterday. So we go to church and we got a program meeting in advance that said basically they were going to have a testimony meeting that was directed by our stake leaders. And my husband said to my kids, hey, you guys might want to be prepared. They just call people up and out of the audience. And he especially warned my daughter, Miley, because she's graduated and she will actually be serving a mission for our church in July. And he's like, you're the prime candidate. She said, well, it's a good thing that I'm confident speaking and getting up in front of people. And my other kids followed suit. They're like, it wouldn't bother me either. This is my 15-year-old daughter, and then I have a 13-year-old son. They're like, yeah, no big deal. And I said, you can thank COPA for that. And it's true. And my 18-year-old daughter said, you're exactly right. What happens is when kids are developing their talents, they're becoming more confident human beings. And some of these kids want to go on and be on Broadway, which is awesome. We provide the training to help them succeed in, following their dreams. But the majority of the kids are here because it's fun and they love it and they are interested in singing or dancing or acting or whatever, but they don't necessarily want to study it in college. None of my kids so far have wanted to study it collegiately or pursue it professionally. But I have seen it continually bless their lives in the way that they're able to speak to their teachers when they have a problem, or their confidence in asking a boy or a girl to homecoming dance or whatever, or standing up and speaking at their church. They just are more confident people. And that is why we do what we do. And we love it. And we've done it long enough that we see the long-term effects of talent development and the confidence it brings in their lives. So we're glad you're here. We'd love for your kids to join this program. It's an awesome family. We have some incredible directors. I don't know, Katie, you may have to help me out with this. I've seen some of them log on, and Katie, you can help me with who's directing what companies. But in our music, dance, theater / music theater track, we'll talk about that. We have 6 companies in American Fork. 7, oh my gosh. So it starts with Prodigy, and Prodigy directors are one, the one and only, and I don't know if she's here, but Delane Dayton, who's absolutely incredible. She does a lot in the community, performance-wise and directing for the Sierra and the Hale, constantly in a show. She's brilliantly talented and just an inspiration to students, especially our young students are really fortunate to learn from her. She's bubbly and talented and wonderful. And our next company is Premier, and Katie directs that. And Katie said that she's the conservatory director. She is. We call her the OCD, which is the overall conservatory director, but she is so detailed. She's incredibly gifted at choreography and direction, but she's also incredibly organized. And so she really leads this train in so many ways, and we're super grateful for her. And then we have Spire, which is directed by the one and only Tiffany Nutter, who I did see on this meeting. Tiffany, give us a shout out if you're on. I can only see a handful of names. Almost saw her pop up.
I don't know how to turn the video back on.
We're all new to
I don't know how to turn this on.
I actually don't know either, but
What did I do?
I don't know. While you work to figure that out, I'll keep going, and then we'll see your face.
Let's talk more about my competence.
Nutter is an amazing,
talented.
There she is. Tiffany directs our pop vocal side of our program as well, and she is gifted in all the areas. She does brilliant choreography. She's so talented there, and she can rip the keys and play anything. She can read it, she can write it, she can transpose it. She teaches some mean harmonies and leads our recording sessions, and she's super fun, and the kids absolutely love her. So it'll be a great year with those Spire kids. Okay, next we have Moxie. And Branda Lee Streeter, I don't know if she's on here or not, is our Moxie director. We're super fortunate to have Branda Lee as well. She was at BYU with us in that time period. She's like her sister, Delane, in shows a lot still, which is so awesome. And she's a beautiful vocalist and a great dancer and super talented and just a wonderful human being. And then we have Smash. And Katie is our director for Smash. And I'm not sure if we know who's vocally directing, but
we're still working on that. It'll be one of the team. You'll know who they are. We just haven't finalized who's in what spots.
And Branda Lee will be directing also our principal company. And then Susie Balser and Delane Dayton. Susie directs our COPA performing company, which is our oldest performing company, and Susie Balser is in Brazil right now with her husband and the Young Ambassadors. He's the director of Young Ambassadors, and they're on tour. And she's incredibly gifted in all the areas as well. A great singer, dancer, actor. She does brilliant choreography. She really pushes the kids, and she is an owner of Utah COPA as well. So the students could not be in better hands. Katie, I succeeded without tears this year. Usually I cry, so
yeah, Mindy and I are criers, so just be ready. And I was crying at like 6 this morning, so be ready. That writer decision. Sorry, here we go.
She's talking about her daughter accepting.
The college decision for my daughter was just made this morning, and the thought of her like being on the other side of the country is getting me. But she's ready. COPA's prepared her, so she'll do great. Okay. She's been to New York like 6 times with COPA, so that girl knows her way around. She's going to be just fine.
Katie, I just want to say one more thing. I saw Branda Lee's pretty face pop on.
There's Branda Lee.
Just introduced you, so give everybody a wave. Our director of Moxie and principal company. She's also our tour director, so yes. She'll be leading the way in that way as well. And then I also just wanted to say I had a conversation with a former BYU professor. He just retired last year, and we're working on a new class for our musical theater track. So we're writing the curriculum, and I called him to say, we want to write something that's going to be complementary to BYU or a musical theater program, so that it's not duplicating what they do at the college level, but it's preparing them for the college level. He's like, I'm so glad you're calling. He's like, so oftentimes COPA students come to our program and they already know what we're teaching them. He said, we're having to up our game and rewrite curriculum because they've already done it. And they're like, Haley, for example, the student that's on Broadway, she skipped multiple levels of dance, tap, jazz, ballet when she arrived because she was already there. And so it's awesome we want to compliment universities, but it's awesome to think that we're preparing these kids so much that they're testing out of levels. And anyway, I thought that was a great compliment. Okay, take it away, Katie.
Tim has said that before. He's like, we don't know what to do with your kids that show up at BYU. Okay, so again, this is new, so please forgive me. I'm going to present now and hope that my screen sharing works. So let's see how it goes. Does everybody see utahcopa.com? Awesome. Okay, so this is our website. It's new and pretty if you've never seen it before. So utahcopa.com, you're going to just click on this company auditions, click here, tab, and it's going to take you to this lovely paper with a lot of information. So I'm going to just orient you to this really quick, and then we're going to talk through some of it. This is our company information for the year, but it also has links to the information for fall. Like this is our audition information primarily, but it also has the information for fall. So we're right on top, American Fork, alphabetically. Yay. So right up at the top here, I'm just going to, you can see here MDT, MT, and it has company information. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Actually, did it go to the page? It looks like, are you just still seeing the website? Someone answer me. It looks like you're just still seeing the website. It did not.
We're still seeing the website.
Okay, so when you click on that link, it will take you to a sheet that I'm just going to take you to now. Let me stop sharing. Stop presenting. Okay. When you click on that, I promise it will go to this place, but for now, I'll just take you there. Great. So it'll take you to this sheet that has all this information. It feels like a lot, but just start at the top, find your location, and read down through it. So you can see for American Fork, it has our MDT, MT program, our vocal pop program, our acting program, and our dance program. I'm just pointing those out for your information. For today, we're discussing the MDT and MT tracks. So you're going to click on this link where it says MDT company information. You're going to click on that one, or the MT company information. You can click on that one. How do you choose which one to click on? The MDT track is more dance heavy, and the MT track is more acting heavy. So musical theater versus music dance theater. So you're also welcome to open both and follow along if you're not really sure which one you're interested in. I'm going to go through one and then the other. So you'll get both. So for now, let's click. I'm going to click on the MDT, and it looks like it didn't take you. So here we go. I'm going to stop sharing and share again. All right. So if you click on that link in the real world, it will take you to this lovely flyer. So this is explaining our music dance theater companies at, hold on, I'm going to try something really fast. Okay. Some of this applies to both academies. So, or to MT and MDT. So here we go. The first thing I want to point out for either track.
Katie?
Yes.
I'm just wondering if we need to explain that because there's a lot of parents here, the difference between what MDT is and MT.
Sure. So, so like I said, the MDT track has a more dance heavy focus, and the MT track, musical theater, has a more acting heavy focus. So it's music dance theater companies or musical theater companies. The companies are the same. So you would participate in the companies that I'm about to explain, and then they would split for either a more dance heavy curriculum or the acting classes. So we'll go through those right now really quickly. For either track, the tuition and fees are divided by 12 months evenly. So even if we don't have class a certain month, or there's fewer classes a certain month, or there's not a big event a certain month, you're going to pay the same exact tuition and fees every single month. We started doing that probably 10 years ago based on parent feedback, and it's worked really well. For the most part, everyone loves it. It's usually the brand new families that don't understand it yet. So if you're brand new, just know when we get to like December and there's maybe only 2 weeks of class, but you're still paying the full tuition, that's why. We've just added up all the weeks of class, divided it by 12 so that you get a lower tuition and it's spread out evenly so you always know what to expect. And same with fees. Nobody wants to be hit in January or December for our winter concert with a giant, bill because it includes your costume fee, your performance fee, your extra rehearsal fee. So we've added those all up for the full year and spread them out over the 12 months. So just know that participation these are auditioned groups. We do expect participation from July 1st to June 30th of the following year, 12-month contract, and the tuition and fees will be evenly spread out throughout that year. Hey, Mindy, do you want to read this beautiful paragraph in orange about the music dance theater program?
Yes, if my old eyes can. It's tiny.
Oh.
Let's try. And you know what? Some words are cut off, Katie, on the screen.
Oh.
I can't, meaning the way that we're viewing it. I actually have it. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
Here we go. Almost. Okay, COPA's MDT track is a dynamic triple threat curriculum designed to shape well-rounded singers, dancers, and actors with a strong emphasis on dance. Ideal for passionate performers looking to take center stage in the world of performing arts, this track offers high-energy classes and performance opportunities that teach students to seamlessly blend all three disciplines. They bring stories to life with power, precision, and passion. Ready to rise as a true triple threat? Join COPA MDT and take your talent to the next level! Exclamation point. Requires an audition, your contract. Yep.
Great. Awesome. So then we have our companies, and our companies for MDT and MT are 3rd through 12th grade. And I will say typically we try to stick with 4th grade and up, but we love to invite 3rd graders to audition. We often will have room for them. What I would say, if you have someone who's going into 3rd grade next year, tell them you're going to go audition for practice and just to get the experience. And that way, if we don't end up having room for 3rd graders, they don't feel sad and we can get them in a great class. But if we do, then great. And they'll be so excited that they were so awesome that they got in with the 4th graders. So open to 3rd through 12th graders, and these companies are listed youngest to oldest. We don't assign specific grades to specific companies for a wide variety of reasons. Mostly just that we just have a different amount of different grades every year. It just fluctuates so much. And we found that if we said like specifically this company is only this grade, or these grades, and then we had a ton of those kids this year, we didn't enjoy turning those kids away just because they were 7th graders, let's say, but they were still super talented. So Prodigy starts with those youngest kids, and then it filters up to the 12th graders. It is a progression. So, if you're in 4th grade and you're amazing, you're not going to be put in SMASH. We do have a progression to the curriculum and a progression to the program. So if you are younger, do expect to work your way through from the bottom to the top, or wherever you start to the top. There is no what we like to explain to the students is that the companies really truly are all equal. The curriculum is the same. They're getting the same training. They have the same great teachers. Obviously, it's fewer hours with younger kids than it is with older kids, but the company experience and the quality of the program is the same no matter what company you're in. So you're auditioning for company in general, and you want to be cast in company. Where you're placed doesn't necessarily mean you're better or worse than someone who's above you in a company or below you in a company. It just means they're older or younger. So keep that in mind as your kids are auditioning, that we hear all the time, like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm in this company, but they're like 2 grades too young still. So that's the way we run the program. It works really well. It's really awesome. If you're new to COPA and haven't seen one of our concerts, they perform in order, and it's so cool to see the progress, and you can see a clear development in their talent and their quality just by that age progression. And the truth is, they have more fun with their peers. So we love to keep them with their age groups. It's so great. I have a group this year. Like I said, I teach Smash, and that company this year is mostly 8th and 9th graders. And most of the, like, one kid is new this year, and all the rest have been doing this together since Prodigy and Premiere. And they are just best friends. And we love that. Like Mindy said, my daughter's graduating. She's been doing this since Premiere. And she's been with pretty much the same-ish group of kids from the bottom to the top. So it's really awesome. We love that, that aspect of things. So how to read this, we're not going to go into each detail of each company, but just know that for Prodigy and Premiere and Spire, you will get 3 hours on Thursdays and 3 hours on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is your dance classes, jazz, tap, and ballet, and Thursday is your company rehearsal and vocal tech. So you can see the schedule here. For example, Prodigy has vocal tech from 4 to 5, and company rehearsal, they have vocal from 5 to 6, and choreography from 6 to 7. This vocal tech class, for those of you that are new, is like a private voice lesson in a group setting. They are split in half, so it's a smaller group than their full company, typically 7 to 10 students in that class with a teacher. We have lectures, that a very formed curriculum that builds on itself. Older students will watch videos at home and then come back and discuss, and we jump right into coaching. In this class, they'll do, and this applies to every level. In this class, they do a legit song for the first term of the year. Second term, they do a belt song. Third term, they do a monologue. And then fourth term, they do an acting section, or an audition section, audition section that dives into what to wear, how to choose material, resumes, headshots, where to find auditions, all that stuff. So great class. Company vocal rehearsal and company choreo is where they work on their medleys that they perform together in the concert. These are usually kind of like a mini musical, 8 to 12 minutes, depending on their age, of a show where they do choreography and solos and harmony to present at our big concerts. They do 2 of those a year. I'll just announce right now. So we have a 4-year curriculum. If the kids could choose, well, I always say this, but then I'm not sure it's true. I always say if kids could choose, they'd want to do the modern stuff, right? Like they want to do Hamilton and Matilda and like all the good, great stuff that's on Broadway right now that's like current and cool and they're like super excited about. But it's really important that they have a well-rounded vocabulary of musical theater. And so we have a 4-year rotation where we hit on different themes for years. And the reason I said I'm not sure I should say that is because I feel like every time we circle back to years, kids are like, I love this year, and this is my favorite, and oh, I miss this medley. And so I think they really do kind of love all the years. But our years are, this year we just did Disney. We're on our Disney year. We also have a current Broadway Today year. We have a jukebox year, which is like all the jukebox and movie musicals. And then next year, for the 25-26 year, American Folk will be doing one of my favorite years. It's called The History of Broadway. And it goes way back to the very beginning of Broadway, and we get to do all the classics. It's awesome because they just get to do different stylings. You know, obviously the golden age, classic, old style musical theater, they're getting, you know, often a more legit sound, but you also have the belt, but it's more brassy than today's contemporary belt. And on the jukebox year, they're maybe singing, you know, Rock of Ages, total like 80s punk rock. So it just helps them to be very well-rounded singers, movers, characters overall. So I love that part of our program and that they get to do that. So that's their Thursdays. So you can see that for every company: Prodigy, Premiere, Spire, Moxie, Smash, and Principal, and CPC. The next thing you'll see is the dance levels. So dance, they don't take their dance classes by company, they take it by level that we'll place them in based on the audition. So MDT dance levels A, B, and C, you can see apply to Prodigy, Premier, and Spire. The good news is they're about the same time. So if you're trying to plan your schedule for next year prior to actually being cast, you know that on Tuesday, they're going to be either 5 to 8 or 4 to 7. And you'll know that when you're cast. Well, within a week or so of when they're cast, we'll assign their level. So be aware of that, and you'll just get assigned for that. So, and then the older students, Moxie, Smash, Principal, and CPC, who have chosen the MDT level, you will be assigned to level D, E, or F. And I apologize that those are red. I had a question about the schedule. I'm pretty sure this is correct, but Susie's in Brazil, and Jen had to run to work this afternoon. And so I'm 99% sure those are the correct times. And I'll turn them black as soon as I confirm with Jen tomorrow. But just know that that's the levels for D, E, and F. Now, the way pricing works for this is a little bit complicated, and I apologize for that. We have not been able to kind of figure out a better way to do this, so try to stay with me. For Prodigy, Premier, and Spire, for all the classes, all 6 classes, so your vocal tech, your company rehearse, company vocals, company choreo, and your 3 hours of dance, it's $235 a month. Boys are scholarships, so they're $185 a month. And then fees are not included. And fees are what we call hard costs. So that's costumes, recital fees. There's a long list of things that are included in that that would be charged. They're not. Tuition is like classroom hours. Fees is everything hard cost that we have to like pay to someone else, like buying costumes, renting the theater, stuff like that. So I'll get to the fees in just a minute. But so Prodigy, Premier, Spire, you're at $235 with $185 for boys. For the older groups where you can split into tracks, that's where it gets a little bit complicated. So you have your base tuition. So for Moxie, it's $115, Smash is $115, Principal is $130, CPC is $140. And then on top of that, you'll have your track tuition. And the way to see that is to scroll down to those dance levels. And if you're placed in level D, that's your dance class tuition. If you're placed in level E, you have the $150. If you're level F, it's $165. So for those Moxie and up and level D and up, you'll just add those 2 numbers together, and that will be your full tuition price.
Katie?
Yeah, I was going to say, any questions on that? Because that's a little bit trickier.
I just want to say that it is tricky. But we do it because it's individualized.
Yeah.
So instead of taking a group of kids and putting them in a company, they all have completely different abilities. Some of them are like killer singers, but have never danced before. And others have been dancing since they were 3, but want to learn how to act. So they all come, with different gifts and abilities and training. And instead of just saying, okay, we're going to take this whole company of Moxie and put them in one dance level, we can split them between 3 different dance levels, and we put them in a place that they thrive. But it means that their schedule is going to be a little bit different, and what they pay for tuition is a little bit different. But ultimately, that's because it's an individualized program, which we're really proud of.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that. Okay, below that, we have a list of add-on classes, and I won't go through these right now. Just know that these are classes that are maybe in the other programs like acting or dance or pop that would apply to your student and could be really fun and beneficial for them if they were interested in taking those. They are all different prices, so I didn't list them here, but they do get a discount if you're a company member and you choose to take additional classes. There is a discounted rate. So feel free to look through those at another time, and if you have questions about any of them, let me know. One class we're really excited about this year that's brand new is this Thursday 3 to 4 MDT music theory and sight singing. We've had requests for that for years, so we're going to give it a go this year and see if it flies. So yeah, that should be really fun. And it'll be another thing that colleges go, they already know all this stuff. But that's a great skill, especially for auditioning, when they just hand you a piece of music and they're like, let's hear it. So, okay. And then I just wanted to point out that as an MDT company member, you can participate in a dance company or acting company as well. We have lots and lots of students who do that. For dance, the classes that you take with MDT company are the same classes the dance company members take. You would just have a few additional dance classes for like their dance company rehearsals. So there really is an overlap there, and some of the classes apply to both programs. For acting companies, the classes don't necessarily overlap, but acting companies only meet 3 to 4 hours a week. So it's not a huge add-on commitment if you have a student that really loves to act and wants to do more of that. And again, I didn't list all the dance classes here, but if your student wants more dance and wants to be challenged more, there's lots of opportunities. Okay, so now we're to fees. There are some one-time fees that are not included in your monthly fees. I should have said this earlier. So we, when we add up the fees and divide them out over the 12 months, we do our best to keep them really, really low and only include what is absolutely necessary in there. So there's just a few things that we don't include in there because not everybody needs them or things like that. So we'll just go through those really quick. The registration fee, this is universal across the whole studio, even open students, is $39. It does go down for additional students beyond that. Like if you have a family of 5 kids, it goes exponentially down per kid. Dancewear and COPA bags and COPA t-shirts, we don't list a price for that because it varies based on your kid, what you need. The COPA t-shirts are required for everyone needs a black t-shirt. We wear those on Thursdays. And then depending on what company you're in and where you're going on tour, you'll need additional ones. But again, we don't charge that up front because if you went on that tour last year, you can use the same shirts. We use the same colors for Moxie, Smash, and Principal on tour. So as long as they still fit you. And then we know a lot of people hand them down or share with friends. So that's just like a as you need cost. They are about $20 each. That's what they were last year and the year before. We do hold off on saying those prices because sometimes we reach out in June to the t-shirt company and their prices have gone up. So, but probably around 20 per shirt. And then you can wear them all the time. The black ones, they wear every week to class. And then I see the colored ones often outside of tour. So kids wear them a lot. The monthly fees are here. They're per company per month. So $94, $94, $95, $99, $100, $113, $115. This covers everything. Other than what you see here for these fees, you will not be suddenly hit with extra fees that you weren't aware of. I was just talking to someone the other day. I don't remember what studio, doesn't matter, but I know this is common at other studios where they're like, suddenly there's this fee for an extra rehearsal or a costume they weren't aware of, or, you know, all those things. We will not do that to you. These are your fees. That's what it is. 12 months, same every month, you're set. Okay. Any question on fees or tuition? Awesome. I'm going to keep moving. And if you have any questions that come up later, feel free to email us. We try to be an open book. We really do with what you're getting into. Schedule. That's what I love about COPA. We are upfront about tuition and fees and calendar. We've been working on our calendar since last fall. We start working in the fall on the next year's calendar because we don't want surprises for you. We want you to know what you're getting into. We want you to be able to plan around it financially with your schedule and vacations and other activities. So we really do try to be as upfront, and it'll feel like a fire hose at first, especially if you're brand new, but hopefully you appreciate that you have it all. It's all at your fingertips. So, okay.
Kate,
Yes, ma'am.
Just in regard to questions, I'm answering questions
Great.
on the chat as well.
Great.
So if you have questions that come up during the meeting, feel free to chat. I'll try to keep up with them. What we don't keep up with, we'll respond via email after, and you can always email after.
Yeah, and we will do a Q&A at the end. And if you come across any questions that you feel like would benefit others, feel free to interrupt me and let's address it. Okay, so then you have your COPA important dates. These are the dates that you'll for sure want to plan around next year. These are our dates. Like we already know our concert dates for next year, our intensive dates. Intensives are our dress rehearsals right before the concert. And it just shocks me every year when people are like, I didn't know there was a concert that day. It's here. You have it before auditions. We will send it again when you get cast. So you have the dates. These are the most important dates to get in your calendar today, even if you'd like, and plan around these dates. Now, obviously, weddings and funerals, there's a few things you can't control, but don't plan your cruise on the intensive dates. Don't, these are the most important, crucial dates that you're going to want to have in your calendar. I do want to point out, for those of you that are returning and for those of you that are new, our winter concert intensive is January 2nd. The school schedule, the schools shifted fall break and our concert schedule shifted. It's something about, like the first Mondays and all that stuff. So our concert is literally, you can see it starts 1/8, which is the first week back at COPA and school. I think school starts the 4th or 5th, something like that. So please note this now that we do have a mandatory company dress rehearsal on January 2nd, and plan your Christmas vacation trips to come home on the 1st, so that you can be at that intensive. It's a Friday. Okay, so these are the most important dates. Notice that for concerts, sometimes students have to miss school. We try really hard to have the younger kids miss school, so the older kids, the high schoolers especially, aren't missing school. We find it's much harder for them. So if you have a younger kid, just know they're probably going to have their dress rehearsal during the school day. We just can't afford to not use those hours. Any questions on the calendar or important dates? Awesome. There are other dates. Like you'll have other dates. We have a full calendar that we'll share with you after casting. Those of you who have been with us before, it's just a Google Calendar that you can sync to your own calendar. These are just the mandatory, you really want to know them now dates. The rest of the dates, it's okay if you miss, here and there, stuff like that. But these are the ones you'll want to know. Company tours. We do tour with our oldest companies. Actually, kind of everybody now. These are listed in chronological order, not by age. I did update the price. We do have the prices, but I think it takes a minute for it to sync. So,
Okay, did you want me to read it?
Yes, that'd be great. So the Smash tour, I think I can go to my email.
That's what I was gonna do.
While I'm sharing without.
Do you need me to do it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did update it. I don't know why it's not.
So Smash for MTCA is 2,400.
Keep going.
And sorry, I can't read. There we go. The principal tour for next year is 2,950.
Oh, and that's principal and CPC.
CPC and
I will correct
CDC.
that.
We're taking so many of our groups on this tour. It's going to be so great.
We'll talk about the tours in just a second.
Okay. So I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And then the America on Stage is 120. And then the Moxie tour is 700.
Awesome. Thank you. And I did add those to the flyers, but I think it just takes a minute to sync to the web. So watch for that to update soon. And I'll add CPC to that other tour. These dates are pretty set, so plan on those. Do note that for the New York tour, we say 4/9 to 4/14, but it's really 4/10 to 4/14. We just put 4/9 in case we end up taking a red eye. We just want to make sure people are prepared to possibly leave that evening, the night before. Just wanted to make that clear so you're not like, we lost a day of tour. It was shorter than we thought. It really is the 10th through the 14th. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to just talk through each of these tours really quickly, and this is where I usually start crying. America on Stage, it's the very end of the year. We do that with Prodigy, Premiere, Inspire. It's just a fun day at Lagoon. and it's a competition. So the students prepare a solo and they go and compete. And I'm not usually an everyone gets a trophy kind of person, but this event is an everybody gets a trophy thing, and it's awesome. These kids walk away like so proud with their crowns and their sashes, and it's also that you're not really competing against each other. It's kind of like the high schools, if you have a student in high school where you go to like solo ensemble thing and you get superior or whatever, and everybody could get superior if you meet certain criteria. So in a certain category, there could be 6 people with first place and 5 with second place or whatever. And so they're not necessarily competing against each other. And for these younger kids, I really love that. And they just walk out of Lagoon like with their chests out, with their sash and their pins. And there's like they get a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway, it's really fun. And then we encourage families to come and spend the day, and the kids really enjoy just spending the day together. So that's a fun, simple, we call it kind of a pre-tour experience. We obviously don't want to take these kids overnight, but it gives them something fun to look forward to and do at the end of the year. The Tuacahn tour that we take Moxie on is awesome. We do this tour every year. It's a very short tour. We kind of have our tours build in the experience and the amount of nights away from mom and dad and kind of the difficulty of the tour. It kind of helps train them for tour. So I love that as a director, because let me tell you, there's nothing like navigating a subway with 75 high schoolers. And if they've never toured or been away from mom and dad, it's tricky. So the Moxie tour to Tuacahn, it's 2 nights and 2 days, really 2.5 if you count the driving time. So fast. We drive down, they get to perform, then they see the Tuacahn show that night, which are always wonderful with amazing cast. The next morning they do a workshop with those cast members. They do another performance, see the other show, and then the next morning they do another workshop, and then they drive home. So they basically get 2 full workshops, 2 performance opportunities, and see 2 amazing shows. So it's a really great tour, so fast. We don't use parents as chaperones, but often parents will come on this tour because it's so close. It's easy to get a hotel. You can watch their performance without having to buy a ticket to the show, but it's also super fun to see those great shows down there. So it's a great, quick, fun tour for those kids. The Smash tour is also, you guys, they're all my favorite. We've done so many tours over the year and we've kind of honed it down. So now they're just all my favorites. The MTCA California tour, MTCA stands for Musical Theater Competitions of America. And we go down to Anaheim, right by Disneyland. And it's this 2.5 day, I can't even talk about it without getting emotional. So Brandalee and Mindy, be ready to jump in. It's just amazing. I think, a lot of times musical theater kids maybe aren't the most popular at school. I know some are, but I know, they're not the cheerleaders or whatever. And they're suddenly in this place with 1,400 like-minded, sorry.
I got you, Katie. I got you. They are surrounded by kids that all love to do what they're doing, and they give each other support. We go down as all one company of Draper and American Fork and the Tuacahn group supporting one another. And they really get feedback from incredible professionals. Every year we come away just feeling, just on cloud 9 with how positive the experience is. And that's why we continue to go back over and over. It's run by incredible women that we have found just are really amazing. And it's just grown every year. And we're really happy to still be a part of it.
Yeah, it's awesome. One thing I love about it, back to the competitions thing, is so we'll compete as a group, and then they also get the opportunity to compete an individual event, and they get to choose a song, a dance, a monologue, and they go in the room and they have like a 12-minute time slot. So I love that they don't just go in, sing their song, and leave. They actually get to coach with these people for the next 10 minutes. And the growth, we always make sure our director's in the room with them and their friends come and watch and stuff. And I always see so much growth. Like, it's just phenomenal to me. Even when I work with these kids all year, just in that 10 minutes, what these people are able to pull out of them. So it's really, really awesome. And just, I just think they grow so much. And there's always like Broadway stars there. Last year they had Derek Klena, and you would have thought Harry Styles was there. Like, it was, and he's really cute. He's amazing. Last year, 2 years ago, we had 2 of the women from the original cast of 6. We've had the original Anastasia, Christy Altomare, the original Aladdin from Disney on Broadway. And then the judges are like, they're in film, television, Broadway stars, Disney professionals. It's just phenomenal. I really like, I don't think the kids, they're having fun and they know it's cool. I don't know if they really realize how cool it really is. It's awesome. And then they go to Knott's Berry Farm, and we also spend a day at Disney. So it's just a great, great tour. The principal CPC New York City tour is another one that is just knock your socks off. Like, it's really, really amazing. We work with a company called Manhattan Concert Productions, and we go out there and we do a concert at Lincoln Center. Sometimes it's at Carnegie Hall, sometimes Lincoln Center, and with the New York City Symphony, and it's a Broadway director, and there's always big name Broadway stars in the cast.
Let me just tell you, the choreographer we're working with this year, she was the original choreographer of School of Rock, so she's very familiar with children and working with kids. She's done a bunch of work, and we'll send out their names soon, both the director and the choreographer for this show. This is the first year that they are allowing our students to dance. So we're taking our dancers with us. We're so excited about that opportunity. So it's going to be a really, really great experience. It's one of their newer offerings, and we're excited to jump right in to experience it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Over the years, they've been in shows with people like Jeremy Jordan, Ben Platt, the voice of Moana from the movie, Christy Altomare, funny enough. Just like huge names, big, great people. And they've been directed by Susan Stroman, Tony Yazbek. Last year, we did Children of Eden, and Stephen Schwartz. Like, the Stephen Schwartz was there the whole 4 days, just rubbing shoulders and helping him out and working with them. And if you don't know who Stephen Schwartz is, he wrote all the music for Wicked, Prince of Egypt, obviously Children of Eden. So it's phenomenal. Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, and this year they are doing the show Wicked. So we are hopeful that we will get to rub shoulders with Stephen Schwartz again. We don't know. Yeah. We can't guarantee that, but that would be wild and amazing.
Yeah, and actually this year it's not just Wicked. They're doing like a Wicked themed show. So they're going to do stuff from Wizard of Oz and Wicked, and it's more of like a medley concert experience than the show. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a great experience. And we're excited for this kind of new experience and having it in April, which will be really fun. Katie, I was just going to give you a heads up. Do we end at 6? We've got 11 minutes.
Yeah, but we have a cushion, so we're okay. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go to the flyer for
MT?
For the musical theater track, yes. Let me get there before I share my screen again.
While she's getting there, I'll just explain a couple things that are happening in the chat. So the musical theater option becomes an option Moxie age and up. So the younger companies, Prodigy, Premier, and Spire, we have them take foundationally the dance classes. That way they're not behind if, like, maybe they don't love dance as a 4th grader, but after taking ballet, jazz, and tap, they may convert to the fact that they absolutely love it. It's harder. It's not possible, but it's harder as a 7th grader or 8th grader to jump back into dance. So those younger companies, we have them taking ballet, jazz, and tap as a foundation for them, and then they can choose the musical theater track by 7th grade.
Yeah, that's great. Yes, we find that they don't really know what they love until about then. So it's great. Mindy, do you want to read this paragraph? Can you read it from there? Is it too small? Maybe she can't hear me. Did you hear me, Mindy?
Oh, yes. Sorry. I was just getting close enough. I was
Okay.
saying my eyes are old. I'm going to take the video off so you're not seeing my nose hairs. Okay. COPA's music theater track is where passion meets the stage with a heavy emphasis on acting. Students also develop strong vocal skills and learn show-stopping choreography taught by Katie Higby and Branda Lee and Tiffany and Susie and all of the people. They dive into the world of Broadway by performing Broadway scenes and medleys while honing their talents and shining brighter with every step. Ready to take center stage? Join us and bring your Broadway dreams to life.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to just go through this quickly because a lot of it's the same. So the company information is identical to what you just saw. Prodigy, Premier, Aspire, Moxie, Smash, Principal, CPC. Also, the dance level A, B, and C for Prodigy, Premier, Inspire is identical to what we just saw. Here's where it gets different. So the MT musical theater track for Moxie and Smash, this would be your schedule. And the MT track for Principal and CPC, this would be your schedule. And these are the add-on prices. So you'll take that base tuition that we saw above for Moxie, Smash, Principal, and CPC and add it to those the track tuition. So same as the other sheet, just different information. The class that we're adding this year is the musical scene study class. We're super, super excited about this. It's something that we had planned from when we decided to do this musical theater track. We just wanted to kind of start small and move ahead. So you'll notice if you were in musical theater track last year that the dance hours are the same as they were last year, so an hour and a half. However, instead of a half hour of tap and an hour of styles, you have now 45 minutes of each. The styles class, for those of you that are new, is a dance class. The reason we do tap is because tap is crucial to musical theater, whether you're a dancer or not. So we always will include tap. The styles class is more of a movement class where we study different styles of dance that could be used in musical theater. And the goal is that any kid, whether they're a dancer or not, could walk into a musical theater audition, let's say at Hale or Sierra, and at least know the vocabulary, understand their body, know different styles that apply to musical theater, which, let's face it, right now could range anywhere from ballet to hip hop to everything in between. So it's really geared to musical theater. It's not standing at the bar doing pliés and going across the floor, grilling the technique. It is geared to musical theater students who want to learn about different choreographers and different things that they would actually use and apply in a show, and getting that terminology ingrained in them so that when they are in that audition and the choreographer says, we're going to do a jazz square, pas de bourrée, pirouette, chasse, leap, they're not standing there like it's a foreign language. They can put it together in their mind to some extent. Our goal, whether these students want to grow up to be dancers or not, is that they can participate in the musical theater world with as many tools as they possibly can. So those are the schedules for that. We are going to be dividing the dance levels by ability. So whether you're in Moxie, Smash, Principal, or CPC, you will be split into MT, Tap, and Styles A or B based on ability. But the acting and musical scene study will be by company. So you'll be with your peers for those classes and your company members. It will be 2 companies combined, like Moxie and Smash and Principal and CPC. Any questions on the musical theater track? Awesome. There's some add-on classes listed there as well for those students. And then the fees are exactly the same as they were on the other page. So are the important dates and the tours and the dress code. The only difference with the dress code is that this MT dance and tap, you don't need to wear dance clothes. So this ballet, jazz, and tap clothing is for those younger Prodigy, Premier, Aspire kids and the musical theater kids, and the music or MDT kids and the musical theater kids just need to wear comfortable clothes that they can dance in. It could be sweatpants, biker shorts, tennis shoes, socks. You don't need to do the tights and leotard. Okay, This link will take you back to that audition information page. I'm going to stop sharing again. Okay, and we're going to move on. So I think one thing that is really important to know is that there's 4 performances every year. And by 4, I don't mean 4 days, like your concert might be 2 or 3 days, but there's 4 performance opportunities. 2 are solo opportunities at the COPA building, and they're connected to the vocal technique class that everyone takes. That one is the first one, they perform their legit song. The second one, they perform their belt song and their monologue. And then the 2 concerts, we do the medley for the first half of the year and a medley for the second half of the year. If you are brand new to COPA and have no clue what any of this means, I highly recommend that you come to our concerts next week. The AF-MDT companies are performing on the May 9th, 10th, and 12th. So it's a Friday, Saturday, and Monday. And it would be a great way to see the program, see what we do, see that progression I was talking about, and get a real good feel for it. And if your student's on the fence, it's a great way to have them watch it and go, yeah, that looks like something I'd like to do. So we'd love to invite you to come and watch our concerts. Okay, we talked about how to choose between musical theater and MDT. What I'd like to point out is that your decision isn't final. So if your student's not sure, follow your gut for this year or what works best with your schedule. We have students kind of hop around sometimes. Like Mindy was saying earlier, though, it is harder to catch up in dance. So it's just a muscle memory thing that's not as easy to jump into late. But if we've had kids choose the dance track and then decide they'd like to try the acting track or vice versa. So don't panic too much about choosing a track, but really think about what your student might enjoy the most, what they would lean towards the most. I also want to point out that we have other companies. We have our pop companies, which are more vocal based, that are awesome and could be an option as well. We also have just acting companies. If you're sitting through this meeting and going, I don't know if my kid's going to take a dance class, and maybe they don't want to sing at all, an acting company would be a great option for you. Our acting company is awesome, and they have a really great curriculum. So it would be an amazing program to participate in as well. And then, as I mentioned before, the dance companies. We have some kids that do not want to sing at all. So dance company would be a great track. And remember, there are lots of options to do 2 companies if you'd like. Okay, I'm going to go back to this flyer that I was sharing earlier and talk through the audition process really quickly and how we cast, and then we're done. So we are a little bit behind schedule, but we do have a little cushion. So I'll just go another couple minutes. That is not what I wanted to share. Hold on. Okay, so this is the audition sheet that I was talking about earlier. So this is now that we've seen, though, you can access that company information. I'm just going to talk about the auditions, period. This year, musical dance, the MDT, the musical theater, the vocal / pop, and dance company auditions will all happen at the same time. So divided by age. So you're going to scroll down below to see. So these are the parent meetings. You've already done that. Yay. If you have a friend, I'll just throw this out there. If you have a friend that's interested and they missed the meeting tonight, this link to join the meeting will be replaced with a YouTube link with a video for this meeting. I would say by Wednesday in the next couple days. So there's an opportunity to go back and watch it and catch up if they missed it. The next thing you'll see down here is the audition form. It'll be the same form for MDT, MT, vocal, and dance companies. The link is not there yet, but it will be there before May 1st. And we ask that you please fill it out before you arrive at the auditions. It just helps our audition run a lot more smoother when we can get people in and out more quickly. If you audition for acting, they will have their own link that will be added here. All of our auditions for American Fork will take place at our American Fork location. Here's the address if you aren't familiar with where we are. but we're right off 5th East and Main Street. So on Main Street in American Fork is where the DI exit is. And then here's the schedule. So on Tuesday, May 13th, we'll see our 3rd through 6th graders. And I won't read all these times because I know you can read. But just this is where you find the information when you're ready. Wednesday, May 14th, we'll do our 10th through 12th graders and our 7th through 9th graders. Then if you auditioned with musical theater and music dance theater, there's a chance you could get called back for a dance company. And those callbacks would be on Monday, May 19th. If you're interested in participating in an acting company, they are only auditioning on May 19th, separate from us. So you'll want to plan to attend that date as well.
And Katie,
yeah,
really quickly, because we're getting some questions about this, which are really great in the feed. You can totally audition for multiple companies. So come all the days, audition for all the things. If your child is unsure what they're interested in, or, you know, you want to see how the cards fall, like, you're welcome to audition for anything that is age applicable for them.
Yeah. So the audition form that I said, the link will be posted before May 1st, and to fill it out before you come. It will actually have on there, like, what are you auditioning for? Musical theater, music dance theater, pop/voice, dance, etc. And you can check multiple boxes. Check as many as you want. If you're not sure, you're like, hey, we trust you to help us figure out what the best fit is. We're happy to do that. So you can check as many of those as you want, or you can just check one. If you only want to do dance company, just check dance company. That's totally fine.
Yeah, and I just really quickly give a shout out to the fact that we've been doing this a long time. So we can see, I mean, I've been teaching personally for 27 years. Katie's been teaching a long time. We all have. And so we can see a music theater kid when they walk in the room. It's like we're a different breed of human beings. We can see a kid that has this incredible ability to stylize and just loves to sing. We can see a kid who is brilliantly talented in telling stories. Now, that's not to say they can't, and they will develop those other elements, but it's obvious to us. And so we're happy if you're confused. It is what we do for a living. So we're happy to help guide that.
Awesome. The next section is just additional information and preparation instructions. I'm just going to hit on the top two because that's what we're discussing at this meeting. But if you think you might be interested in other programs, go ahead and read through those. For musical theater, I'll just do, there's some similarities, but I'll just do one at a time. For music dance theater, you're going to prepare a 30 to 45 second audition song. Please try to stick to that time. We're seeing hundreds of kids in these days, and it breaks my heart to have to cut a kid off. So if you could just make sure that you rehearse your cut and make sure your student knows how long it's going to be, that helps us get through the audition quicker. And if you're the last one, you will probably appreciate it too. So 30 to 45 seconds, we highly recommend that you just choose a song that they love, that they feel confident doing. It's best if it's in a musical theater vein, but if it's not, that's okay. Sometimes that's how we figure out that maybe they're more inclined to pop, you know? So just anything, you can find tracks on YouTube. You can buy them on different sites, iTunes and Music Notes and Karaoke Track Now, all those things. And then know where the track starts. If you're going to use an MP3, know where the track starts. We recommend, if you only get 30 to 45 seconds, we suggest doing the end of the song. That's usually where you get like the power notes. So like the last chorus or verse and chorus, or just the last chorus, something like that. Typically, if you start at the beginning of the song, it's not the most exciting part of the song, and we maybe won't see the best that your student can share with us. So, but you know what? If this is their first time auditioning and that's the part they know and love and want to do that part. Like, don't stress. I'm just giving you these tips to see if they help. But the most important thing is that they feel confident, that they love the song, that they know the words, and that they can walk in there and feel really proud of what they're doing. And then let them know we're not scary. We often start over with them or help them sing along, things like that. It doesn't change how we score them or view them. we want them to be successful in this opportunity. We feel like this is just as important a part of our training that we provide at COPA as anything. So we'll give them the opportunity to correct and start over and all of that, so that when they walk into a Hale audition, they have rehearsed auditioning. Okay, so prepare that song, be ready to learn choreography. We'll teach it there. They don't need to learn it in advance. The 3rd through 6th graders, bring a track on a device. 7th through 12th graders, we prefer that they bring sheet music, only because that's what's common at Hale, Sierra, etc. So we want them to practice having sheet music. You can buy it on Music Notes. Sometimes you can find it for free if you do a search. You're going to just find that 30 to 45 seconds that they want to do. Mark it with like a highlighter, like a bracket to start and a bracket to end. I would definitely rehearse it with the piano before coming into the room with us. So find a neighbor or family member or someone that can play through it with them once or twice. Sometimes a track and sheet music aren't in the same key, and then the kid is confused, or they're used to hearing, you know, a horn that brings them in, and the sheet music obviously will just not have a horn. So have them practice it a couple times. They should arrive in dance clothes or something they can move in. Dance first. We'll excuse the musical theater kids and keep the ones that want the more dance heavy track. The musical theater kids can go start singing while we dance with the dance heavy kids. Then we'll send those kids to start singing. And once they sing, they're free to go home. And then you will send casting about a week later. Typically, we'll have when you come to the audition. I actually should have had it for today. I'm sorry, I don't have that. I know it, I just don't have it on the top of my head. When you come to the audition, we'll let you know when we plan to announce casting. It's usually like the last day of school-ish, like May 21st, 22nd, around there. You'll receive an email with your casting. And it'll have lots of instructions to accept, to sign your contract, all of that stuff. If you want to audition again for acting, you'll come the next Monday, May 19th. If you want to audition for dance, you'll probably have a callback on May 19th as well. For musical theaters, the instruction's the same. So 30, 45-second song, just like all the stuff I just said before. And then we're also going to ask them to do either a monologue that's less than a minute, or don't panic if you don't have a monologue prepared. We will have what we call cold read material. Basically, it will be a monologue that they can just grab the paper and practice it for, you know, maybe 5 minutes before they come in the room and just do it cold. And we will know it's cold, so there won't be, you know, they'll be judged somewhat differently than the monologues. We can see the potential with a monologue or a cold read. We are 2 weeks out though. So if you have a COPA student that's been in a class or a company, they have a monologue. They all have a monologue prepared, so they can just do whatever they did in class or company this past year. If you're brand new to COPA and you don't have one, there's a lot online. You can just search like girls age 12 monologues, and you'll be surprised at what pops up. And some of them are pretty easy to learn. Or do it as the read if you'd like to hold the paper, but at least you would have some time to kind of prepare it a little bit more. Either way, doesn't matter to us. We'll be able to see what we need to see. And then again, if you're interested in possible the vocal or dance or acting companies, you can read that information there. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. And I think that we are ready. I'll just say really quickly, how we cast. We score, I already explained this before, it really is mostly by age and score. So because we don't, let's just say that there's a company that's typically all 8th graders. We'll keep them with their age group. However, if that group of 8th graders, if that company still has like 4 spots and I'm able to bump, let's say 4 7th graders, that's when the score will come in handy. So we'll cast, you know, based on score and ability and how long they've been with COPA and maybe who the oldest ones are, so that there's a maturity level as well, because let's face it, there can be 18 months between the oldest 8th grader and the youngest 8th grader. So we'll consider a ton of things when considering who to jump, but everyone will end up with people close to their age, close to their abilities. And then, like I said, it usually comes out about a week later, and there will be important instructions. So don't just read it and go, oh yeah, you made it. there's going to be a long email with like, click on this to accept your spot. Click on this to fill out your contract. There's going to be a lot of instructions, and it's really hard for us to track that down for 400 kids, and we need to get it done as fast as possible because we like to get you guys registered that first week of June, because our first camp is in June. It's like the second week of June. So it is really, sorry, my dog loves me. It is really important that you read the email, read through all of it, and that you know what's going on. I won't talk about this a ton right now because we are running behind, but just know that if you have a high schooler, they can get high school credit for participating at COPA. My daughter never took a PE class at a PE class in high school ever, because she used her dance at COPA to count for that PE. So just know that. We'll talk more about that in the meeting after you get cast, if you have questions about how to get high school credit. And we're also happy to answer those anytime. Your casting email will also have a date of another meeting. It'll be May 27th at 5 o'clock. We call it our post-parent meeting. It's like, now that you're cast, here's the contract, here's some more details on dates and things that you need and all of that stuff. So plan on that meeting as well. And then that's the end of what we have to present. So Mindy, looks like you have something to say.
I do. This is a good question. I just wondered, okay, Brandley's saying tennis shoes are a great option. If they don't own dance shoes yet and they're like young 3rd to 6th graders, can they, I know tennis shoes would work for the MDT choreography, but what about the dance levels? Can they do it in socks, or do they need to have something so we can see their feet for the ballet stuff?
So if they're auditioning for MDT, they're fine. But if they're auditioning to want to maybe get a spot on dance company as well, I would read those instructions for what they would like people to wear. But my guess is socks and bare feet. I feel like most dancers dance in bare feet lately.
Okay. So it sounds like even if your MDT tennis shoes are great, maybe if we do a combo for dance, they can take off their shoes and do it in socks.
Yeah.
And if you're auditioning for dance company, following the shoes that they are recommending would be a good idea. Okay, thanks.
Okay, we're like I said, a little bit behind schedule, so we'll open the floor for some questions for like 5 minutes. If anyone has any questions, just feel free to unmute yourself. Maybe we've gotten them all answered in the chat room, but now's your chance. We can't see all of you, so just unmute and start talking.
Hi. I'm asking about the tracks. So if I have a daughter that's younger, doesn't have a device or a phone or anything to put their track on to do the audition, do I just use my phone and then know when they're in the lineup, when to bring my phone in for them to do their song, or how does that work?
Yeah, so that's normally what people do, is they'll just give them their phone for the audition. If it's a younger kid, like 3rd or 4th graders, often the parents stay just because the kids are nervous and don't really know what they're doing. And so you may just be there. And so you can just have your phone ready for them to jump in.
And it's good to have your phone on airplane mode so that you don't get a phone call.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you.
And you could leave for the dance audition, and then you'll know what time, like the schedule says when the dance and music starts, like the vocal starts. So you could leave for the dance portion and come back for the vocal audition. And when they're done singing, they get to go home anyway. So then you're just there and ready to leave as soon as they're done. So, all right. Any other questions? We just threw a lot at you. Awesome. If you do have questions, feel free to shoot us an email. The COPA email is info@utahcopa.com. You can also email me at katie@utahcopa.com. It's KATIE. But I will just say we're heading into concerts. So my time at email is going to be pretty low the next couple weeks, but I will try to answer as fast as I can. So maybe do info and copy me, and whoever answers first, that will help. We are at the building this week. If you want to come walk around and check it out, our MDT companies rehearse on Thursday. That'd be a great time to come and just kind of see the building, see what it feels like. If you time it right, maybe you could see the same age group that your student would be participating in, see them in rehearsal for just a few minutes. So feel free to do that. We are welcome visitors. So. All right. Is that it? No other questions?
Good job, Katie.
Awesome. Good job,
Yay.
Mindy and Brandley.
And
Thanks,
come to
Katie.
concert, because the concert is going to be awesome.
Yeah, the concert is going to be awesome. It's pretty amazing what these kids are able to pull off. So we'd love to see you there. You can buy tickets at the Covey Center website. Make sure it's their website and not like a side website. But we'd love to have you come check it out. Thursday night, Friday night, May 9th, and Monday night, May 12th are just company concerts. So you would see all of our pop companies and all of our MDT companies just in a row, youngest to oldest, and really be able to see the full company spectrum. On Saturday, we have 2 concerts, a matinee and an evening show. And in each of those, only half the companies perform in one and half perform in the other, because all of our open classes, our little kids, our little preschoolers also perform. And that's a treat in and of itself. So it just depends on maybe what your vibe is. I love seeing the little teeny kids. It's just adorable. So either one, you'll get a good show. But if you're like, I want to see every single company, come on Monday or Friday or Monday. Yeah. And if you don't really care and you're interested in seeing kind of the full program and what classes do as well, come on Saturday to one of those shows. Okay, awesome. I'm going to end this meeting so we can hop into our next one in 12 minutes.
See you later.
Thank you all. Bye.